Okay, so my name is Arunan, and my project is InterMine Sola Search, and my mentor is Daniela. She's not here today. So, as an introduction to my project, so now we use InterMine to search for biodata every day. Okay. Hello.
Still here, don't worry.
Okay, so currently InterMine uses Lucene to index the data. So before searching, we need to index the data to get the results quickly. And for currently, we are using Apache Lucene version 3.02, and this version is fairly old and it's not supported anymore. For faceted search, we are using Bobo Facet library, and it's also a fairly old library and it's not supported anymore. So it's obvious that we have to update our search system so that we can improve the search. So we looked into various search systems and we came up with Sola. So Sola Apache Sola is a standalone full text server, and also it's open source. So the main difference between Lucene and Sola is that Lucene is a library, so we can use it inside our application. But Sola is a separate server, so it's independent from the application, and you have to use clients to communicate within. And also it supports faceted search natively, and also it's highly scalable and fault tolerant. And in our case, we are using Sola J as a Java client to communicate between the InterMine and the Sola. And also the plus point is that we can see the index data, like a database. We can see the index data through the Sola admin UI, and we can verify that all the documents are indexed and how much space does it take. So that kind of advantage is a plus for us. So I'll just go through the quick steps for running a Sola. So it's pretty simple. So like I said, it's a separate server, like a database server. So you have to download it separately and you have to run it separately. So you can download the binary package and extract it to any place you like, and you can start the server by running a command inside the Sola folder. Also, there are two options to run the server. So one is to run it as a standalone server, and the other one is to run it as in cloud mode. So cloud mode is more distributed. So if you are an expert in Sola, you can go for this option. And like a database, we have to create a code here. So we have to basically create two cores for our purposes. So one is to store the search index, and one is to search the autocomplete index. So we have to create two cores. And addition to that is we have to now insert more configs into our properties file. So for the search index, we have to add 3 more configs, and for autocomplete, we have to add this one config. So the first config is about the Sola URL. So you just have to give the Sola URL that you have set up. So here's the code name that you will be giving, which you create for search, and you will be passing it here. And the next config is the size of the batch. So I'll explain it more in the next slide. And so what basically it says is what's the batch size that we are trying to index. And the last config is the optimize. And what optimize does is it's like defragment hard drive. So it basically orders the data and it makes a compact thing. So it makes the search a little. It improves the search. So it takes a less time than that. But it comes with a cost. So it takes more time and space. So you basically have to spend some time to optimize it. But if you are just testing it, you can just make it false and you can do it with a lesser time. So I'll give a quick overview about the indexing process. So currently what happens is we retrieve the documents from the database and we place it in the indexing queue, and we just index it through the Lucene. But for Sola, since it's a separate application, we are following a way of like batching the documents of 1,000 and add it to Sola constantly. So even after adding the documents to Sola, every 30 minutes hard commit is done. So So when we add the array list to the Sola, what it does is it will keep it in the memory. It will not show into a hard disk. So hard disk is storing it in a hard disk is done after hard commit. So we are doing it at every 30 seconds. Why 30 seconds is because doing a hard commit is a heavy operation. So if you are doing it frequently, that will pull your memory space in the server and it will try to crash it. So 30 seconds seems to be a fairly option. So you can even configure it in the Solar config. So it's totally up to you if you want to change it. So improved query pattern. So currently, so this is a Boolean query syntax, as you can see. So currently, Abra or if you want to search for a gene with the symbol Abra or Eve, you can do this query. So currently, it works in the current implementation as well. But if you are searching for O, it confused. It's not a valid Boolean syntax. So what happens is it gets confused and it does not return anything. But with Sola, what it does is it returns the results containing O. So there's a gene in the FlyMine called with the symbol O, so it returns the results for that. And also, when you type as Abra O, there's two. This is also not a valid Boolean query. So what happens is it returns the results for both Abra and O. So this is the improved query pattern. And we did a small timing comparison for both Sola and Lucene version. And when you are creating the index, so with the Lucene, we tried it with FlyMine and it takes around 32 minutes. But with Sola, it takes about 21 minutes. So it's fairly an improvement in Sola's part. And when we do the autocomplete process also, it takes like 60 seconds in Lucene and 35 seconds in Sola. So this is a special keyword so that you can retrieve all the results in a mine, all the data in a mine. So when you do this query in FlyMine with Lucene, it takes around like 40 seconds. So that's too much. But with Sola, it takes only like 1 second. And also another important point that you should like look in is that with Lucene, when you start the web app, the first search takes a long time because we had to like deserialize the index from the database and then we have to populate in the memory so that we can search it. But with Sola, it's not the case, and every search is returns results instantly. Also, I have implemented two web services called facet service and facet list service. So both are related to facet. So what does that is that when you search for a query and you are only interested in the facet counts and not the actual results, you can use this facet service. So you can pass the query as a query parameter and you can get the facet counts related to that particular search. And the next web service is the facet list service. So if you're interested in the facet categories that are contained in the mine, then you can use this facet list. So if you want to know all the facets that are available in the mine before you do a search, it's this service that you want to use. So we can go for a quick demo. So actually, Julie has FlyMine beta with Sola. So for the naked eye, you cannot actually see any changes here. But when you are doing a search, if you see that the search is fast or slow, it's because of Sola. So basically, so this is a special keyword that I mentioned. So when you search for this, it instantly returns the result. And also when you do a search for O, it gives me a result for actual gene with the symbol O. So that's for the search part. And another part that where Sola is implemented is the autocomplete. So autocomplete is used when you want to like set up a constraint. Like for example, in ontology term, you want to set up a name constraint and you want to get the suggestions for the name. So you search for like this and you get the suggestions here. So this is actually now done with Sola. So if you feel like it's faster so then it's because of Sola. And so for the facet service, so this is the URL that you have to use for the facet. So this is the first service that I mentioned, facet service. So you give a query parameter. So here I am searching for the query give, and when you give, you get the facet counts for that particular search. And when you are when you want to know the list of facets that are contained in the mine, you can run this service, and you will get an array list of facets that are in the mine. So basically that's it for the demo. So if you want to try this out, so I have implemented these changes against InterMine 2.0. So you have to have InterMine 2.0, and all these tests are done with Apache Sola 7.2. So to be on the safe side, please use this version. So I'm sure that Sola won't change drastically over time, but please make sure that you are using 7.2. And this is the all the details are included here. This is the GitHub branch that you want to build, and they are such a separate setup document. So if you have set up the InterMine 2.0, then you just have to do some additional steps to set up Sola. And you can follow this, and there's a detailed technical doc, and I have published a final blog in the InterMine WordPress website. So that's it for Sola. So if you have any questions, please ask.
Great job. Great job. Got microphone on? Or it might be me.
It was me.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was going to say facets are something I've wanted for ages, so thank you so much. It's been on my wish list for over a year.
The performance improvement's very impressive, so that's nice to see that.